Hey guys, this is Andy, and I wanted to walk you through the Luna Companion app and how I think we're going to get it going. Spend a little bit of time, listen to some feedback, and have built something I'm pretty proud of, and I hope it helps with your creative process. So, first of all, when you download the package, you should get a folder, and I'm just going to drag Luna Companion into my applications. So, we'll start there, head into the applications. And here we are, Luna Companion. I'm going to launch that. And so we're met with the remote server window. And what's going to happen is you have a QR code, and that code you can scan with your Apple iPhone or iPad. Really, I guess any web enabled device, doesn't have to be Apple. There are a few things to get us started and to get us set up. The way this app works is with IAC MIDI ports. And the earlier version of the app was just keystrokes. This uses a combination, and I felt like this helped keep a lot of things in sync. And so I wanted to implement the MIDI MCU information and commands because that gives some feedback to the buttons. And so when you first kick off, you'll be met with this screen, and we're going to start with the MIDI setup process. So if you click MIDI setup, this takes you to the MIDI setup screen, and what we see right now is that the expected input is not found, expected output is not found, so there's no MIDI connections. And so if you click Open Audio MIDI Setup, this is going to open that window, and it likes to open with the audio window first. Sometimes MIDI, it just depends on where you were when you last interacted with Audio MIDI Setup. So if you just go up to the window at the top, you can select Show MIDI Studio, and that brings that to the front. And so most of you will have IAC, and if you're not using that for any other kind of DAW remote, then it might be disabled. So we're just going to double click, and here we are. And if you go back to the server window, what it's going to tell you here in these setup instructions is you want to enable the driver, then you want to create or rename your buses to Luna Companion to Luna and Luna Companion from Luna. So I'm just going to highlight this text here. Command C. And we're going to go to that first MIDI port. Let's add one and paste that in. Okay, Luna Companion to Luna. So now we're going to add a new port, and we'll go back. Luna Companion from Luna. Command C. Let's rename that one. And there we are. So Companion to Luna, Luna Companion from Luna. We're going to make the device be online and hit apply. And we can close these windows and get out of here. And right now it's still all in red. So I'm going to hit reconnect MIDI and see what that does. All right. So the expected input is found, the expected output is found, and the MIDI is connected. So we can close this now. And let's actually close this as well. Now, it is a signed app, but it does require automation and system settings. So you're probably going to have to go to privacy and security and accessibility. Yeah, that's it. So right now it's not in here. It is going to ask us the minute we try to hit a keystroke, it's going to ask us to grant permission, which means then we might have to close the app and reopen the app. And there are two places where you're going to have to give it permission, here in accessibility and also in automation. And you'll see in just a moment when that happens. Right now we haven't sent any keystrokes, so Apple's not really cranky about it yet. So, all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open this remote locally. This is just going to open up a window, a browser, whatever your default browser is, and take you to the internal URL. And if you scan this with your phone, more than likely it's going to give you the IP address rather than the local port. So here we are. We have our transport, record, stop, play, metronome, count in. This is the loop button. Undo, redo. This is go to end, return to zero. This will increment you through the next bar. This will increment you through the next marker, previous bar, previous marker. You can add markers, play from stop, pre and post roll. This is what I'm excited about here, though. This is from some of you guys' feedback, focus track. This is supposed to be a handheld remote. I wasn't interested in making a full set of bankable faders, but I did make it selectable so you can go from track to track. So we're going to open a session. And when we open a session, that should hydrate the tracks. Focus track controls are now available. And so what that means is we have kick because our kick is selected. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and get that out of the way. And we'll walk through the app. I've already set up these ports and selected them in an earlier test. So what you'll need to do in Luna first run is go to your Luna settings and you'll go to controllers and you're going to put your input device. You're going to select that port that you created a minute ago, Luna Companion to Luna, because that's your input. And then you're going to select the output device, Luna Companion from Luna. And that's the return to the loop that we're trying to make. And then you're going to select on. And then when you do that, you should have control. If for whatever reason, when you go back from setting up the MIDI ports and your focus track name doesn't populate, that just means that the system needs to be hydrated with all the MIDI data. The best way to do that is to close the Luna session with the remote still open and then open the session back up. And when the session opens back up, that should fully hydrate the MIDI track data and give you control. So here we are in the app. Let's start with the transport and I will show you. Transport is running. If you're running this as a remote on the same computer that's running Luna, when you push a button, it's going to bring the app in front of the remote. And then you'll have to select the remote again and push a button. So it's like double push, but this is not really meant to be ran this way. I'm just doing it so you can see the screen. On your phone, that's not the case because your phone is simply just talking to the computer that's running Luna. And so each button press on the phone or the mobile device is instantaneous. It's not a double press. There's our play, hit stop. Okay, here's our metronome. And we've got that. I'm going to turn that off. And as you can see, it's syncing with Luna. And if I go to the metronome here and I click it or I unclick it, then the light corresponds. So a couple things that I was going to explain to you is the count in, right? So if you click the count in button, okay, so that sent its first actual keystroke. And because count in uses a combination of keystrokes instead of MIDI MCU messages, this is where now we need to give it permission. So we're going to allow, we're going to open our system settings, and here we are, Luna Companion. And I'm going to give it permission here. So now if I hit count in, you see count in started. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. Count in is a key command. So if I toggle it off up here, but it's on here, then the button states will get switched because it has no way of knowing what state it's in. So if you find that's backwards, the way to remedy that is really just to go to the screen and get it to the state that the button is in, and then now it's in sync. Okay? That also works with play from stop, right? Play from stop. That's going to turn your stop button into a pause button, right? And right now we're happy and we're in sync. But if you, for some reason, go up to the menu and toggle that off, see our button states are now out of sync. So if I turn that off, we're in reverse. So the way to remedy that would be just to go up to your transport window, and you can't see it, it's out of my recording, and toggle that back off. And now we are back in sync. And the last thing that's like that is the pre-roll and the post-roll. So right now, if I click this on, you can see it lit up our pre-roll, post-roll. But if I change that here, then we can get backwards. And so just know that that's just how it's going to work with keystroke driven commands. All of these other transport commands are MIDI, and so like even the loop is MIDI. So, but count in, play from stop, and pre-roll and post-roll, those can be out of sync. There's nothing I could do about that. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's switch over to the focus track. And here's a neat thing. As you can see, we can toggle through. And let's say like you're sitting at your kit and you are happy with everything, but you want to make another pass. You can, of course, record, enable, solo, mute, and we've got LED control here. It's pretty good. It'll peak. It'll help you know what your levels are. I worked really hard to kind of get this fader to be in line like a Luna fader. It's pretty cool. The only image is actually the fader cap. So this is what's nice about this is when you click the plus button, you have the option to do a new track version, a duplicate track, or duplicate without content. We're on the kick. Let's say we wanted a new track version, and you see it swapped us over to version 2. Let's hit that plus button again. Let's duplicate the track. And that gives us a duplicate with the exact same content that was already in the lane. And lastly, let's duplicate without content. So let's say you had a really good setup and you're just wanting to double the vocals with the exact same chain or whatnot, or acoustic guitar. That's a good way to do that. So yeah, this is our Luna remote. I will tell you another thing, and this is a Luna issue, and it just happens to be with the way that it renders windows. But if you're like me and you like to use alternate windows, I'll show you another kind of, I guess we call this a bug. I like to have a track window open underneath my timeline window, but this is a bug. So like MCU, from what I can understand in Luna, likes to work with the main Luna window. There's something about the way Luna draws that second window. I go to this window and it's in the front. You can see that the tracks are selected, but the remote's not reporting the same thing. It'll move through the tracks and it'll still control it, but for whatever reason, however they're duplicating these windows in the back end of Luna, it doesn't pass the MCU MIDI channel names. So if you just click back to the main window, that'll sync you back up. I really hope you guys enjoy this. I never intended on this to do anything but be for me and to keep me from walking across the room and creating a track. And I forgot to show you another thing though, and I think this works with the original, but let's send the playhead back. And just wanted to show you we could be playing and hit the add marker and it's going to drop a marker. Play a little bit more, drop another marker, and it puts the marker at the current, I guess, grid setting. And if we want to, we can, let's go to the previous marker. Let's go to the previous bar, next marker. And so this is a cool way if you're listening through and you want to drop markers, or if you know how long your song map is and you just want to sit down at the instrument and kind of, drop markers at specific bar lengths, you can do that. So yeah, this is Luna Companion. Have some ideas for the next version already, and that might be simply just to make this DAW companion and put some presets in for some other DAWs, but I'm really only concerned about Luna at this point. I really like it and think it's a great DAW. Sounds great to me. So I hope you guys enjoy this and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you later.